So today we're gonna be putting this.
Okay, you're like a natural.
Yeah.
Turn the
Today-
camera on and right away you see telling us what we're doing.
Yeah.
So we had school today. Did we have school today? How'd you do in school?
It was okay. I mean, I got whipped like a couple times by a lanyard. We had a couple the lanyards. We had a lanyard war today.
I don't want to hear about that. That's probably wasn't in the schedule.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, so it's Waffle, my sidekick. You're my sidekick up here.
Yeah.
This one's all about Bill. So we repainted Bill's frame, and we're painting the body right now. And so we're reassembling it. So this is all new to you. This should make you feel real comfortable, Bill. You've never done any of this before, have you?
Not a single drop.
So you know how school works?
I mean, you go.
You get a test.
Oh yeah.
So I just schooled you on this. So let's have a test.
This is my test.
What is this right here? This
That
thing.
is.
You asked me what that was in the front one.
It's It's not a fork. It's a.
God, look at him. Oh man, he's freaking here.
I don't
So
know.
it's a hairpin.
Hairpin, yeah.
Hairpin what? Radius rod.
Radius.
So that's a radius
rod.
hairpin radius. You can do a 4-link setup, but that's a radius rod. We do have a Spirit style, and in the back there.
Is that the
Do you have any idea what that's for?
Spirit?
Well, yeah, that too, but
That's.
it kind of braces it because when you put a lot of torque on the wheel, it's going to spin it, and it might want to bend it there.
Yeah.
We never used to do that, but
Stability.
I think now we get imported China steel and everything else, and it's just not what it used to be. So that's for safety. So what's going to keep this rear end? So you see the angle of the rear end here. If I take I can take the jack off of it. See how it's swinging back and forth?
Yeah.
What's going to stop it from doing that?
These.
No.
No.
No, you push it a little bit back and forth. Look at that. Can you imagine driving down the road like that?
That would not be fun. The things that go here.
Ah, well, that's good. Did you know that, or are you making that up because it looked obvious?
No, I know there's something that goes here and it connects to here because it's the same on the front.
Oh, we don't have the one on the front yet. So we got two different.
But I asked you about that earlier. It goes.
You did ask about it. So that's called the panhard. That's called the panhard rod. And this one here, it's going to get 2 rod ends on it, and then it's threaded left hand and right hand thread. You know why we thread left hand and right hand thread?
So you know what you're doing?
That's not even a good wild guess. If I'm turning it one direction like this, and I got a left hand and a right hand thread, one of them's going to go in and one of them's going to go out, which means that it will get wider. And if I turn the other direction, one will go in, the other one will go in, the other one will go out.
Smaller.
It'll get smaller. So if I want to adjust my rear end, go ahead and swing it a little bit. So if it's a little bit too far one way or the other way, I can move it back and forth. So what I'll do, ultimately, to get this set up, we want to measure from the frame to the backing plate, and it needs to be the same on both sides. You remember what we did on this radius rod? I was having a tough time getting it in that hole. You remember what we did?
We had to take this bottom bolt out to get it,
We lengthened it a little bit.
lengthened.
So one of the things that's going to happen if you build your chassis and it's got radius rods, 4-link is a little different, but if it's got 4 radius rods, and say that you had, and you could do it, say you had to pry this up or push that down to put that bolt in, what do you think you just did to the whole frame? Yeah, do that again, that'd look good. Oh yeah, okay. So you just turn the whole thing into a torsion bar. And it's going to angle one way or the other, and it has nothing to do with your shocks and nothing to do with your springs. So
All about the
99% of the time when somebody calls and says my car's leaning, the shocks aren't right or whatever, that's it right there. That's the fix for that right there. What else we got? Hey, what's that? What's that?
It's a brake. Am I close? Is it
Yeah, you're close.
brake proportion?
Well, no,
Torsion.
you can use we'll need a proportioning valve, which that does,
I
it
know
cuts
it's
down the
something for the
fluids
brake.
from the front to the back. But that's a brake booster.
Brake booster, yeah.
So, and then this is the master cylinder.
Brake booster.
So what we use here, that's just an
Brake
aftermarket
lines.
8-inch booster. You know where it goes? Any idea where that goes?
It goes right here.
That's the pedal.
It's a pedal.
Pedal goes there. Body bolt.
No, here.
Transmission. There you go.
Yeah.
So that goes there,
circular, that's circular.
and
I
then
don't know why.
when the pedal goes on here, the pedal will have leverage. You can kind of see on the bottom of the pedal, that's got that hole. So that little rod that's all bent right over there,
Yep.
that's kind of going to go from the bottom of the pedal over to the booster. Is there a nut on there, on those?
Yep.
Go ahead, stick it up there. All right.
To go like this or like this?
No.
Hmm.
Goes this way. Aiming this way.
This way.
Yep.
Through here.
And we'll see how our holes are. Our holes line up.
They do.
Hey, pretty good. Why don't you put the, no, put it this way. Because the master cylinder is going to have to bolt onto the back of this. So the bolts have to be parallel like that. So flip it a quarter turn. There you go, right there. That'll work. So your booster goes first, and it works on a vacuum. So you have to have some kind of vacuum coming off the motor. You can't have too crazy of a motor. And then the master cylinder, which this happens to be a Corvette master cylinder, will bolt onto the back of the booster. And then voila, there you go.
Yeah. Put it on there.
Okay, so we've established, what is this again?
The brake
Booster.
booster.
Yeah, we had like
Brake
a
booster.
we had a 10-minute break in between the videos here, so.
Yeah.
And this is what is that?
The pump
Master cylinder?
master cylinder.
He's learning. Give him some slack.
Yeah, give me some slack, guys. I'm learning.
So here's the big deal for this. So this has got to push. There'll be a rod to push here, but it goes inside. You can see inside of there. This will adjust in and out. So it's got to hit the rod just right. Otherwise, it will not push in or out right. So there's a part that goes in there, and that can be adjusted. So that's a critical thing. Just be aware of that. Other than that, what else we got going on here?
We got this.
We don't have the steering arms on yet, but we got what is this?
The front axle.
Well, that would be the axle. So
This
that's your
is
spindle.
Spindle.
That's a 37 to 41 Ford spindle. Reason we use that, a lot of people make brakes for it. We push on a bearing adapter so we can use modern GM calipers.
Greasy.
Greasy, yeah.
And then you got the leaf spring.
Got your leaf spring.
You got
This is going to get shocks on it, and that's for your front panhard to bolt onto.
the long two rods. They connect to this.
One will be a drag link. So you're going to have a steering arm come off of the back.
Yeah.
A steering arm come off of the back of that one, right over there. And that rod is going to go underneath here and connect the two together. Then there'll be a thing called a slingshot arm. It'll look like a slingshot. Bolts from this bolt here, and it comes back around to here, and then goes that way, the other rod, and it will go to the steering box.
This is where the steering box is.
And that's where the steering box goes.
This is motor. No, yeah, motor mounts. Or are these the motor mounts?
That's for the radiator mount right there.
Radiator mount, and then this is motor.
We're set up for Chevy. This is set up for Chevy, for small block Chevy,
Yeah.
and with a 350 turbo transmission. We've got our transmission painted.
Yeah.
We've got our motor painted. So we're gonna put them together, put it all in here, and pretty soon, bada bing, bada boom, it'll be a car. So you're gonna give us some awesome words for wisdom to end the video with.
We don't build cars, we build dreams.
Well, this is true.
Yes.
What about school? Give me something about school.
Don't get into fights. Do your work and be good.
This guy here, you're a pretty smart guy, aren't you?
I mean, I don't get into fights anymore, but I used to.
Well, it depends who you ask in school how smart you are.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the deal is. If you're too smart for school, or we're just not smart enough to figure out how to engage you and teach you. But
I don't know.
I think for a little bit of time you worked on this will be tonight. How long did we work on this? Tell them how long it took to about assemble that.
Almost 30
hour.
minutes, 30 minutes to an hour.
30 minutes to an hour. So 30 minutes to an hour, we pretty much assembled what you see here. And that was your first time for doing any of this. So after you do it 2 or 3 more times, or maybe 1,000 or so after I've done, you'll remember what the parts are called. These go on the shackle. The spring shackle, that's what this is called.
Yeah. Oh, so they just.
But normally, if we're going to run friction shocks, we just do that. But since we're going to run like a gas type shock, we need that hole there, and it's going to come up and bolt under right here to a bracket. So you'll see that bracket.
It's looking nice and shiny.
Looking shiny. And we can show what a friction. So this is what a friction shock looks like, and you can see the backside of that shackle there. It just got a thing just like this. So there you go. Oh, here we go. We can show the whole deal going on. So this got a chrome one. Well, that one was painted, but you can see it's not like this. It's like this here. So the shock goes on from here, comes down, and the bolt will go through there. So that's how it works.
So we're gonna need 2 of these
We need 2 of those.
for that.
Here, identify some more parts for me. What was this now? You called that out before.
This?
Well, that too, yeah.
Don't tell me I know it. It's the fuel. They're not the fuel pump. It's the brake.
That's a brake booster.
Yeah, brake booster.
But it's
and
not
then
power brakes, so there's no booster on it. That's a master cylinder.
master cylinder.
All right, so this
So, it's the what is it?
proportioning valve.
Proportioning valve.
And on a T-bucket, what you do is you cut the fluid level down in the front, because it's so light in the front, it'll want to push your front tires if it locks up, which it will. And then this here is a pressure switch for the brake pressure. So when you got brake pressure, it closes that and makes the switch on, and then your brake lights go on. Here's how the panhard rod goes in the back.
Right here.
Bolted on, just like, no,
This- huh?
those are our pretend shocks.
Oh yeah, wrong thing. This thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
This thing keep it from wobble wobble.
Mm-hmm. And here we got a steering box, a Vega steering box. That's pretty much, and here's the drag link that we talked about over there. Goes from that end of the steering arm all the way across to that end. And then here's that slingshot. Looks like a slingshot, kind of. So then this goes from the steering arm goes all the way across
That's what.
to the, and then what is this one called? Right here, this piece.
I don't know. I ain't learned that one yet. I ain't seen one yet.
The Pitman arm.
Pitman arm. That's what it's
I
called.
have no idea why it's called a Pitman arm. Then our brake. Oh, and that was, I told them, so this is a little different chassis. That's not a little different chassis, but a little different brake system. You've seen the other rod had a little bend in it
Yep.
to match up with the booster. This one just goes right to the master cylinder. So, brake pedal, and you can see down here, bolts right to that. Goes onto your frame. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. All right, so there we go. You had school. It wasn't so bad, was it?
No.
You don't get a diploma here, though.
No.
You get a paycheck.
Yeah.
Which would you rather have?
I'd rather have both.
Oh, good man. Good man. All right, that's it for today's video
But
then.
if I had to choose one, it'd be a paycheck.
Oh, okay.